In this Helldivers 2 video, I'm going to be giving you 3 Liberator Carbine Loadouts to use versus the Terminids and the Illuminate. I recently did a video fully breaking down everything that you need to know about having a max level Liberator Carbine, went over the strengths and weaknesses after weapon customization, and now what I want to do is I want to give you some loadouts that are going to maximize its true potential against both these factions. So I have one unique build for each faction, so basically 2 of those builds are going to go to either faction, and then the last build, the 3rd build, is going to be universal between the 2 factions. So anyways, let's talk about it. We're going to address the Liberator Carbine first and the attachments I chose because I don't want to go over it 3 different times on all 3 builds because I'm using the same version of the weapon. So for the optics, we're going to be bringing in the tube dot sight because I feel like that gives you the best clarity, and I just like it when you're aiming down sight. But we're not going to be doing that a ton with this build just because I like to aim 3rd person. But if you do like to aim down sight, I feel like the tube dot is the best version. We're also going to be using the vertical foregrip and the compensator to bring down that vertical recoil by as much as we can. You do get 10 horizontal recoil, and you can technically run the muzzle brake if you want to tighten up that horizontal recoil a little bit more if you feel pretty confident at controlling the vertical. So either way you want to go between the compensator and the muzzle brake, but I feel like the vertical foregrip is definitely mandatory. And then lastly, we're going to be running the drum magazine because it's going to give us 15 extra rounds in the magazine. We do lose 15 ergonomics, but 45 ergonomics is not the end of the world, and the weapon still feels pretty good with that. So overall, this weapon is going to be an insanely good horde clearing tool on the bug front and the illuminate. So this first build is going to be tailor-made for the bugs, and it's going to be a hot swap loadout. I've been really loving using a lot of good primary weapons and hot swapping to the laser cannon. It's been incredibly good at not only just general horde clear and keeping the DPS up, but the laser cannon is actually a very good tool against the elite units, which we'll discuss in a moment. So we obviously went over the Liberator Carbine. The strengths of it against the bugs in this particular situation is that it's going to be great for all the lightly armored units. It's going to be even good for killing the hive guards. Against the brood commanders, it's going to struggle just a slight amount because they are more beefy, but if you hit that face of the brood commanders, it's going to kill them a lot faster. So that's just something to keep in mind. But in general, it's going to be great for horde clearing on the bugs as a whole. For a secondary item, we're going to be bringing in the ultimatum, primarily just for anti-tank situations. It can still one-shot chargers, 2-shot bile titans, and it can destroy bile titan holes. So it's very effective on the bug front still, even after its adjustments. And in my opinion, it's actually even a little bit better, especially with the explosion damage increase. It's actually able to horde clear at a much more effective rate. I love shooting this into crowds of spewer enemies, or it will take out on top of the chargers. It will take out some other enemies around it. So I pretty much enjoy the ultimatum in any situation versus the bugs. It's also very good at taking out the spore towers and the shrieker nest if you need it to as well. So overall, the ultimatum is just an all-around really good anti-tank and kind of objective tool on the bug front. For our equipment item, we're going to be bringing in the gas grenade. It is really good overall. A lot of people already know about it. It basically deals 25 damage per second, and it deals caustic damage. So that means it's going to confuse the hell out of the enemies, confuse chargers, confuse brood commanders, whatever. It doesn't work on bile titans, but it's great for breach situations. You throw this in as soon as you see some breaches, it's going to confuse everything coming out of the breaches, so it's very powerful at that. It's also very good when you need to get away. Just throw this a little bit in front of you. It's going to open up the cloud of gas, and anything behind you, if it's predator stalkers or if it's just base stalkers or whatever, going to get confused and start moving away from you, allowing you to take them out with the Liberator Carbine or your laser cannon, whichever one you want. So the gas grenade is a great crowd control tool, and it's probably one of the best crowd control tools in the game for sure. For our armor passive, we're going to be bringing in Siege Ready. I did wear the heavy version of Siege Ready just because you get that extra protection, but it really depends on which one you want between the light armor or the heavy version. But basically, this is going to make our Liberator Carbine way better. So we're going to get that 30% extra reload increase, and we're also going to get those 20% extra backup mags. In English, basically, we're getting 2 extra backup magazines, as well as we're dropping our reload time from 4 seconds down to 3.2 seconds with the drum magazine. So it's going to make our weapon much better and much more efficient overall. For our stratagem 1 slot, we're going to be bringing in the supply pack. The supply pack is my favorite stratagem in the game, and it's one of the best ones, and a lot of people love it for so many different reasons. It just does nothing but give you benefits. It's going to keep us stocked up on gas grenades, going to keep us stocked up on Liberator Carbine shots, ultimatum shots. It's going to be able to keep us well stocked in ammunition and equipment, which is great. It's also going to help our teammates out as well. So the supply pack is a very powerful tool as a backpack slot. I already mentioned it, but for our stratagem 2, we're going to be bringing in the laser cannon. So every time we're low on ammo with the carbine, or we need to deal with some of the beefier units like the brood commanders or the hive guards or even the chargers and the bile titans, we're going to swap over to the laser cannon. The reason why is because it deals 350 damage per second at heavy pen, and it can deal damage to Bile Titans and Chargers with not only its direct damage, which is not as strong as something like a anti-tank tool, but it will still deal damage. But the main thing is that the fire damage over time effect that it does on these targets is very powerful and will slowly kill the enemies over time as well. And if you pair this with other things, it's going to be just even more powerful overall. So basically we're going to be anytime that we're running low on the carbine or we need some sort of beefier unit to be taken care of, we're going to swap over to the laser cannon, and it's going to be absolutely beastly against them and just clearing in general. For our stratagem 3 slot, we're going to bring in 1 sentry, and that's going to be the autocannon sentry. So the autocannon sentry deals 450 damage per shot at AP 5, so it can basically do with any enemy on the battlefield. It's going to do great damage against Chargers and Bile Titans. It's going to do great damage against any of the enemies on the battlefield in terms of spewer enemies, in terms of brood commanders or anything like that. So it's going to be very good at that. And it has a high durable damage of 450 as well, basically just matching its damage potential. So that's why it's so powerful. And a really good thing about it too is that if you place it well, it can last for a long time, shooting for quite a while, and it has a 75-meter effective range, so it's going to be able to hit targets from quite a few distance away. It does have a little bit of a cooldown between shots because it has like a little bit of a burst fire type thing, but that's nothing too big to worry about. But it's gonna seriously just absolutely wipe the floor with the bugs in general. And then last up, our big Mac Daddy anti-tank tool, and that's going to be our multi-elite killing tool, is going to be the 500 kg. So we get 2 total of these when we have all the ship upgrades, and it deals massive damage at AP 7. It's able to kill Bile Titans in one shot if it lands in the right spot. A lot of times it's going to be able to take care of Chargers, obviously, and it can deal with multiple elites at once. So if you got multiple Bile Titans or multiple Chargers or Chargers and Bile Titans, it's going to kill them all very effectively. What I really do love about this is that it can also clear out bases very well as well. So if you run into a heavy base that has a big Bile Titan hole, it's going to be able to kill the Bile Titan hole and several of the other bug holes around the area, which is nice as well. So it's a very, very effective tool on the bug front. This next build is going to be for the illuminate, and it is called the Bullet Storm build. And this is going to be basically trying to put as many bullets down range as quickly as possible with all sorts of different stratagems and different weapons. Nothing is better than the Liberator Carbine. It is an extremely fast RPM weapon at 920 RPM, and we already know all the stats about it. It's going to do really well against the Voltless. It's going to kill the Overseers in a respectable manner. It's going to be able to kill a flesh mob in two magazines, and that's pretty much the gist of it. It's going to be able to do some really good damage against those grounded units. I particularly like it against the ground Overseers, meaning the ones with the mace and also the ones with the little arcing cannon thing. It's very good at them. Just shoot them in the chest, they'll die pretty quickly. But the biggest thing about this thing is that it's great for the Voltless and the flesh mobs. That's where it's going to really shine the most. For a secondary, we're going to be bringing in the grenade pistol. This is primarily just for clearing out those warp ships. We're going to take down the shield with the carbine. We're going to shoot that grenade pistol in there, and it's going to clear up those ships very quickly. You can also use it for general horde clearing. If you get in a pinch, you can kill some Overseers with it, but we're primarily just using this for those warp ships when we open them up with the Liberator Carbine. For the equipment item, this is one of my favorite items to bring in against the Illuminate, and that is the Pyro Grenade. So this thing is extremely strong against harvesters and flesh mobs. If you throw this into a shield area, even if they have their shield up of a harvester, just get it near their feet, you can kill a harvester in like 2 grenades. Just throw about 2 or 3 of them in there. You get 6 total, so it's going to be very powerful, and it will kill a harvester in seconds. Same thing for flesh mobs. You got 2 or 3 flesh mobs in an area, just throw this in the general vicinity, shoot some carbine shots downfield, and you're going to absolutely eviscerate flesh mobs very quickly with this thing. This grenade is an absolute beast on the Illuminate front because it is so good at taking out the harvesters and flesh mobs, but on top of that, it leaves a trail of fire everywhere, so it's going to be great for dealing with Voltless or setting Overseers on fire. Literally, this is the perfect grenade to bring against the Illuminate. For our armor passive, we're going to be bringing in Peak Physique because that's going to help us with our support weapon stratagem, which is going to be the heavy machine gun. So we're going to get plus 30 ergonomics with the Peak Physique, so it's going to make wielding our heavy machine gun even better, and it's also going to even make our Liberator Carbine even better because instead of having just the 45 ergonomics, we're actually going to get 75 ergonomics now, which is going to make that feel really snappy and great for target tracking. So we're getting a side effect there. But yeah, Peak Physique is really, really powerful for being able to increase the weapon handling, aka the ergonomics of both our heavy machine gun and Liberator Carbine. We're going to once again be bringing in the supply pack. The reason being is because we're going to be using so many power grenades to be able to take care of the harvesters and the flesh mobs and being able to spam those out as much as possible. So we're going to need it for that. The heavy machine gun is a very ammo hungry weapon, especially with the way we're going to be using it to take out some of the elite units. So we're going to definitely need some ammo there, as well as the Liberator Carbine obviously needs some ammo as well. So between the equipment and the 2 weapons we're going to be using, we're going to need a lot of resupplies from the supply pack. Okay, so now for the big Mac Daddy heavy machine gun. This has actually become probably the best illuminate weapon in the game just because of how powerful it is with the changes to harvesters. harvesters. Now you can just shoot a harvester directly in the face with this thing and it will die in seconds. No longer do you have to aim for the limb. You can, it will still die really quickly, but if you aim for that faceplate, you can kill them in seconds, so it's very powerful there. So the heavy machine gun is just amazing because it deals heavy penetration with 150 damage per shot, and the durable is 35, so it's going to be very strong against the majority of enemies. It's going to absolutely eviscerate flesh mobs. It's going to be great against harvesters, like I mentioned. Take out the shields on the enemies very quickly. You can take out the Stingray ships out of the sky. Overall, there's nothing on the illuminate front that can't be killed by the heavy machine gun. To continue the bullet storm theme, we're going to be bringing in the machine gun sentry. Now, if you want to bring in the Gatling sentry because you want full bullet storm, go right ahead. I chose the machine gun sentry just because I like the pacing of the machine gun more, but in general it doesn't really matter which one you bring. But the reason why I like machine gun sentry is because it deals 90 damage per shot at medium pen, and you get 263 total available rounds, so it's going to last for quite a while, especially with the pacing of the thing. And because it does have such a low cooldown of 77 seconds with all the ship upgrades, you're going to have this back non-stop, and you're going to be able to use this consistently against the illuminates, and it's going to be able to be great for just general horde clearing, taking out overseers, dealing with flesh mobs, giving you some assistance there. Overall, the machine gun sentry is a very powerful tool on the illuminate front. For our last stratagem slot, we're going to be bringing in the eagle strafing run. This is probably the best eagle in the game versus the illuminate, just because of the fact it is so good at dealing with the shields, and it is very, very good at dealing with pretty much any enemy on the field. It's going to do a heavy damage because of its pattern in which it comes in, which is vertical. So when it comes in, it's going to go straight over your head and just kill a bunch of enemies. It's going to be great again for taking out the shields and whatnot. The best thing about it is that you do get 5 total uses of this, so you can use this as much as possible. So if you see a bunch of illuminates lined up perfectly on a street, just throw this in first, and then you can shoot your carbine in, throw power grenades, use your heavy machine gun, have the machine gun sentry going off. It's complete bullet storm hell when you have all these elements going. It is an absolute blast against the illuminate. This last build is going to be centered around the Liberator Carbine and the autocannon. This is going to be the Super Commando loadout. The great thing about this is that the autocannon is such a powerful tool. With all the changes to shrapnel recently, the Eruptor and the autocannon saw some great buffs to their overall damage, so you're going to basically switch that autocannon to flak rounds, which we're going to go over in a moment. But being able to lean on the autocannon for helping with horde clearing, helping with dealing with elite units, is very powerful on either front. We've already talked about the carbine in both situations pretty in depth, but basically, again, it's going to be great for horde clearing. Anything on both fronts, it's going to be able to kill all those lightly armored units and all those medium units, depending on where you hit them from various angles. So it's going to be great for both fronts. For our secondary item, we are bringing back the ultimatum. So this is going to be great once again against the Bile Titans and the Chargers on the Buck front. And then if you bring it over to the Illuminate front, it's going to be great for dealing with the chaff because of the explosion radius, as well as it's going to be good for dealing with the warp ships. And in general, if you can hit a harvester with it, if you're pretty accurate, it will fold a harvester as well. So just make sure that you take down that shield with the carbine first. But overall, the ultimatum is just very universal against either front. For our equipment item, we're going to be bringing in the gas grenade once again. So basically, this is going to be dealing that caustic damage, and it's going to be confusing the vote list. It's going to be confusing all the bugs, including chargers once again, as well as it's going to be great against the flesh mobs. The flesh mobs are going to be able to be confused by this, making them much easier to deal with, and it's an absolute delete button on the vote list as well. So gas grenade is going to be absolutely clutch for this build. We're switching up the armor passive for the medkit armor passive, and I'm running the heavy version of the medkit armor passive specifically because it gives you the best overall effective health, and paired with the effects that we're going to be running with this, it's going to be an absolutely beastly combo versus either front. So basically, the medkit armor passive is going to give you 2 extra stims, which is very powerful, but the biggest thing that we're looking at is that it's going to give you 2 seconds to that heal over time effect, and this does pair with the experimental infusion booster. So if you're running in a team and somebody's running this, you're going to get all the benefits of that extra damage reduction, as well as the bonus speed, and it's going to be increased by 2 seconds. So that's extremely powerful overall. And then because, again, if you're running the heavier version, you get more effective health, you're going to be basically a walking tank running this armor. For our stratagem 1 slot, I already talked about it, but we're bringing in the autocannon, and we're going to switch it into the flak mode. So the flak mode basically makes it a shrapnel shot, so it's going to explode when it gets in contact with enemies or in vicinity, so it's going to send out some shrapnel damage. If it directly hits enemies, it's going to do a lot of damage, and then it's going to disperse out, and whatever enemy is hit by it, it's going to do multiplicative damage based on the shrapnel that it gets hit by. So overall, it's going to be a very powerful tool for not only horde clearing, but it's going to be great against the Chargers. It's going to be great against the Bile Titans. It's going to be incredible against the Harvesters and the Flesh Mobs. It's going to be an absolute delete button against both factions. You're going to clear out everything so easily. It can deal with the warp ships when you take down the shields as well, the bug holes. It is an elite weapon right now, especially for dealing with any of the units on the field. We're going to also bring back the 500 kg for this loadout. It is not incredible versus the illuminate. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's great, but it is still good enough. If you take down the shields and the harvesters and things of that nature before you use it, it will kill them pretty effectively, and it will kill some general units in the vicinity, as well as if it does land on top of a warp ship, it can destroy it as well. But the way you want to use the 500 kg against the illuminate is definitely against the harvesters and some of the beefier units when you see a big pack of them. So it can be effective there, but it's not the most effective eagle against the illuminate. But against the bugs, it's just way too good. It's a very, very powerful thing once again, dealing with those chargers, dealing with those battle types. Again, I'm going to leave the option to you, but I'm going to throw in the machine gun sentry again. Once again, it is very powerful on the illuminates and the bug front. It's going to be able to clear out enemies so easily. Fast cooldown, medium pin, good pace on its ammo, so it's going to be able to shoot for quite a while. Definitely great for breach situations or incoming warp ships. It's going to be an absolute beast on both fronts depending on how you use it. And then lastly, we're going to bring the rocket sentry, which is by far my favorite stratagem in the game versus any of the particular factions, but it's very, very powerful on both the bug and the illuminate front. It deals 525 damage per rocket at AP 5, and it is an elite killing machine. If you put this in the right place and give it plenty of distance, it's going to kill units from so far away. It's great in the mega city biomes or any of the city biomes. You pair it with the machine gun sentry. The machine gun sentry is going to defend it. The rocket sentry is going to be absolutely deleting things from range. It is a very good peanut butter and jelly combo against either faction. It's going to kill so many units. It's going to kill so many elite units, and if you help it out by shooting the autocannon stuff at it, if you're throwing gas grenades around, using ultimatum, using the carbine, all of these elements combined are going to make for an incredible experience versus the bugs and the illuminates, and you are going to be a walking tank with the medkit armor passive. So this build is one of my favorite builds to use against either faction. But all right, that's 3 total builds for either the illuminates or the bugs. Let me know what you guys think about this video concept down below. This is something new I'm trying with the loadout combinations. Let me know what loadouts you particularly like to use against the illuminates or the Terminids as well. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.